everyone, welcome to the first Bio 131 lecture. This video will cover all of the PowerPoint notes and in-class notes. Keep in mind, this video is a seriously condensed version of the lecture and will go very fast. You always have the power to pause and rewind. I recommend you write down notes flagged as important, as you are 2 times more likely to remember things when you physically write them down. This being said, let's jump in. In this video, we cover some key questions. How does the body keep its internal environment in balance? What are anatomy and physiology, and how are they related? How is the body structure organized? What are the requirements for life? Anatomy is defined as the scientific discipline that investigates the body's structure and the relationships among them. In simpler terms, what does the thing look like? Physiology is the scientific investigation of the process or function of living things, meaning, how does it work? Together, these two terms combine to ask the question, how does the structure relate to its function? An example of this is, how does the skeletal structure allow for us to move? There are 3 subdivisions of anatomy. Gross or macroscopic anatomy are structures examined without a microscope. This subdivision includes regional anatomy, certain structures in an area of the body. An example is the head, which would include the brain, skull, mouth, nose, ears, etc. System anatomy, which looks at a single system. An example is the digestive system. Surface anatomy, which is internal structures that can be seen from the skin. This would be things like veins and muscular masses. The next subdivision is macroscopic anatomy, structures that can only be seen with a microscope. This includes cytology, which looks at cellular anatomy, and histology, studies of tissues like smooth and epithelial. The last subdivision of anatomy is developmental anatomy, which looks at anatomical and physiological development throughout life. Included in this is embryology, which looks at development before birth. Important terms to know. Palpate, which means to examine by touch. Auscultate, which is the act of listening to sounds that arise within the body, like using a stethoscope to hear a heartbeat. Some examples of different levels of physiology are cell physiology, which looks at different processes in cells, and neurophysiology, which focuses on the nervous system. Pathology explores structural and functional changes caused by different diseases, and exercise physiology examines changes in structure and function caused by exercise. Both of these utilize anatomy and physiology. The most common elements found in the human body are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. More info on these in a later episode, it's just important to know for now. There are 4 types of tissue that make up organs: epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. These 4 types of tissue create organs, and in turn, those organs interact with each other, creating systems. To further break down this organization, we need to look at each level. Working from the outside in, we start at the organism. Next comes the organ system level, which are groups of organs working together. In that lies the organs, which are 2 or more of the 4 types of tissue mentioned earlier working together. From organs, we then move to the tissues, which are groups of similar cells and materials that surround them. Then we work down to the cells themselves, which are the basic unit of life. Making up the cells, we have chemicals, the interaction of atoms, molecules, and organelles. There are 11 different organ systems. The integumentary system is responsible for covering the external parts of the body and protecting deeper tissue from damage such as water loss. This includes hair, skin, and nails. The skeletal system protects and supports the internal organs and provides the frame for muscles to allow for movement. Bones do more than just that, however. They also store minerals, and blood cells are created in them. The muscular system. This provides us with movement and facial expressions. It also keeps us warm. The nervous system. It is the fast-acting control system of the body, responding to both internal and external stimuli by activating the correct and appropriate responses in muscles and glands. I like to think of this one as the 911 operator. They receive your call and activate the right people to help you with whatever your problem is. endocrine system. Secretes hormones responsible for things like growth, reproduction, and metabolism. The cardiovascular system transports blood, nutrients, chemicals, and wastes throughout the body. Think of this as the highways and roads leading to, from, and within a city. Lymphatic system is responsible for the immune response, while also picking up leaked liquids throughout the body and returning them to the bloodstream. It also disposes of wastes. The respiratory system keeps blood supplied with oxygen and removes carbon dioxide from the body. The digestive system breaks down food into absorbable units, which then enter the blood. Units that cannot be absorbed are turned into wastes and excreted. Urinary system eliminates waste from the body and regulates water, electrolytes, and the pH balance of blood. Reproductive system, male and female, responsible for the production of offspring. You're almost done. Hang on. Next, we take a look at the characteristics of life, of which there are 9. Boundaries, such as skin and membranes. Movement, muscle and chemotaxis, which is the contraction of muscle cells. Responsiveness, which is responsible for the sense and response to stimuli. Digestion, which is the breakdown and absorption of nutrients. Metabolism, which is broken down into anabolism, which builds things up, and catabolism, which breaks things down. A nice way to think of this is Anna and her cat. Anna likes to knit things while her cat likes to unravel them. Excretion, which is the removal of waste. Reproduction on both a cellular and organism level. Growth as both a cell and organism. Organization parts interact to perform tasks. To survive, an organism needs nutrients in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, and vitamins, oxygen, water, a consistent body temperature around 37 degrees Celsius, and consistent atmospheric pressure. Homeostasis is vital to all survival. Homeostasis is the consistent environment in the body despite constant changes in the outer environment. A dynamic state of equilibrium means that it readjusts as needed. A set point is an ideal normal value. For example, 37-degree internal temperature. It can fluctuate, but the body will always try to be as close to or at 37 degrees. Lower could cause organs to shut down, and higher could denature our enzymes, which make chemical reactions happen on our body. So, if you were paying attention during this video, you learned the subdivisions of anatomy and physiology, the most common elements found in the body, the 4 types of tissue, the organization of structure, the 11 different body systems, the characteristics of life, the survival needs of an organism, and the definition of homeostasis. For further information on these topics, I recommend taking a look at the videos posted in the description below. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you all in class.